It's going to be a budget battle. So here's what CBS News posted. Right, this was right before Johnson came out a bit ago. Says the House is aiming to vote on Tuesday, that's the day, for a budget proposal that would enact trillions of dollars in spending reductions. Okay, we appreciate that. Thank you for that. The Senate bill was going to add a bunch of money to the debt and to the deficit, but this is not going to happen. The outcome remained unclear on Monday night. Johnson continued meeting with members of Congress who were not yet satisfied with the plan. The measure was advanced Monday night by House rules. Johnson had hoped to bring it to the floor on Tuesday, that's today, he was just asked about that. Did not appear that he'd yet won over every Republican he needs. He says, we'll see about the timing, but it's going to happen this week. And I hope Johnson steps up, right? A lot of people are stepping up right now. A lot of people had their doubts about Rubio. A lot of people had their doubts about Vance. And under strong leadership, right, guys like Rubio can act accordingly. When he was just a senator, he had to be beholden to Mitch McConnell. But now he can play ball with Trump, so he can rise to that level of competency. And he's demonstrating that. So we're hopeful that Johnson does the same thing. Johnson was very squishy when he didn't have control of the House. He's got very small control of the House now. This is what we're looking for. Enact trillions of dollars in spending reductions and tax cuts. Okay, that's what we talk about. Johnson has been racing to move forward with the budget resolution, a crucial step in the budget reconciliation process Republicans are going to use to pass Trump's borders. After delays due to infighting, Senate Republicans moved forward with their competing plan earlier this month, but it had a bunch of pork in there. Still, whether Johnson and his leadership team can rally on around the budget is an open question, so we'll figure it out. He's got a 3-vote margin, 218 to 215. Johnson can afford to lose just one vote if all members are present. He told reporters on Monday he'd spoken to one holdout, Victoria Spartz, and had left a voicemail for Massey. That evening, Massey posted, he says, if the Republican budget passes, Massey said this, the deficit gets worse, not better. Elon said that sounds bad. Then Victoria Spartz, who already pledged to oppose the budget bill, answered Massey, writing, the situation is much worse than it sounds. We're going to accumulate $24 trillion of additional debt on top of the $36 trillion we already have. We're going to reach $60 trillion. Tim Burchett also told reporters that he's in no right now. House Democrats widely oppose the measure because it cuts too much. It's imperative that we present with maximum attendance, said Jeffries. The House GOP plan includes $4.5 trillion in tax cuts, at least $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, but it raises the debt ceiling by $4 trillion. If House committees don't achieve at least $2 trillion in spending cuts, then tax cuts would be scaled back in an amendment to the resolution that appears to appease conservatives. So, a bunch of battling happening here. The developments come after the Senate adopted its budget late last week. We saw a little bit about that. Since Trump's endorsement of the House, Senate Republicans have built their own budget plan as a backup, in case the House can't get their situation accomplished over there. But one lawmaker says, we're moving forward. Okay, there's all these protests. The Democrats have 4 different press briefings today because they're so pathetic. This guy, Representative Jay Obernault, he was in California. Bunch of people were heckling him. But when Republican lawmakers returned, all those protests didn't matter. He says, look, it's easy to be critical, okay? But the people voted for change in November. That's exactly what they're getting. It's unfortunate the other party, the Democrats, have decided to turn this into a political stunt. He said some protesters were misinformed. Some are just liberals, not even from their district. I think that they were uninformed people, so I really discount that. I think once you're informed, you realize we got a lot of financial problems. Yeah, and all these so-called civil servants are suing our civil society because their unions are not getting paid. It's like everybody's getting grifted, but we are not being served.